Good evening. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Barbara Schreiner Trudell, and I'm delighted that you're here today. And let us begin. Let us begin with the land acknowledgement. And tonight we do have the chat working. So if you have questions or comments, you'll be able to put those into the chat during the lesson. So I am honored to live, work, and play on the historical and traditional territory of many Indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and more recently, the Mississaugas of Credit and the Haudenosaunee nations. Toronto is home to many diverse First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. We recognize our oneness, we realize our history, and we choose to create a new reality. We are one. And the vision of CSL on the Lake is transforming humanity through the emergence of the sacred, authentic self. Well, I want to invite you, let us begin in meditation. I invite you to sit comfortably, quiet your mind, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and take a deep breath. And let us take one more deep breath, releasing the day, the busyness. And one more time. What I know in this moment is that there really is but one power in the universe. It's everywhere present. It's all powerful, all knowing, and fully present right here and now. And in this state of relaxation, I quiet my mind, relax my body, and allow myself to open to a new idea, to come to understand a new way of thinking, to begin to deepen my self-concept, that I might fully reveal that sacred, authentic self. Tonight's lesson on spiritual laws is an opportunity to deepen, to expand, to awaken, to allow, to discover. And so with an open mind and a loving heart, I surrender this moment into the law of mind, knowing that all is well. I let it be, and so it is.
Mama, I don't have time for dancing. That's just gonna have to wait a while. Ain't got time for messing around. And it's not my style. This old town can slow you down. People taking the easy way. I know exactly where I'm going, getting closer, closer every day, and I'm almost there, almost there. People down here think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Trials and tribulations, I've had my share. There ain't nothing gonna stop me now, 'cause I'm almost there. I remember Daddy told me fairy tales can come There's been trials and tribulations, had my share. But I've climbed the mountain and across the river, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
All right, well, we're almost there. Well, tonight I wanted to talk about spiritual laws. I think it's one of the things that really separates what we do from other organizations. And I think sometimes when we look at the world around us and we see the challenges, difficulties that might be showing up, there can be some hesitation or reservation about how we perceive what we do. We may have health issues. We may look at the world around us and wonder, when will it end? When will it all stop? When will we be free again? And the truth is that freedom is a state of mind. And as we begin to work with the spiritual laws, we begin to see that truly there is a law within this universal oneness that allows us to begin to create in a new way with an expanded awareness of what is possible. And really, we tend to be a little loosey-goosey with our thinking sometimes. We allow ourselves to get lost in the news or get lost in our TV shows. Really, what we want to do is take time every day to look at any area of our life that feels a bit discordant and decide what it is that we want to do with that and begin to work from there. So oftentimes we look at what's going on and we think we're powerless. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is the furthest thing from the truth, that there is a power within each one of us that is infinite. Infinite. And the only thing limiting it is my thoughts or your thoughts. It's the way we think about our lives. It's the limitations we've placed on our lives that cause us to feel this idea of powerlessness. And powerlessness often comes because we're thinking about the past, right? The past does not exist. Okay, it's done, it's over. We need to let it go. Or we're projecting into the future. What will be, what will come, what's going to happen next? And again, when we're thinking into the future, again, we're powerless because the only point of power is now. So what we think about, the way we think, right? Whether we're thinking about our environment or events that are external to us, all those thoughts go into that law of mind and create according to their kind. So when we take a look at the mysteries of human life, we start to see the power, the possibility, and the promise. We can create absolutely anything. I mean, if you think about people who were born in the early 1900s and what it is that they have seen over their lifetime, truly remarkable. They saw flight. They saw, I was sharing with my daughter the other day, the most remarkable thing years ago for me was the first time I saw a picture sent by fax. Well, things have come a long ways from there. The thing is that things are evolving, changing, and that all of us are some part of this infinite, eternal presence, law, this power. And as we begin to explore what's possible for us, it's time for us to really shed the fear, the doubt, the worry, and take back our power. And so the first law, there are 11 that I'm going to share. I don't think I'm going to get through all 11 tonight, but I'm going to tell you what they are right off the top. If you have pad and pen, you just might want to take a few notes. First one is the law of thinking. Next is the law of supply. There is the law of attraction. We're all familiar with that one, aren't we? We've heard a lot about it. Law of receiving. How about the law of increase? The law of compensation, the law of non-resistance, the law of forgiveness, law of sacrifice, law of obedience, and the law of success. So that's a lot of information. That's a lot of stuff. But what it really comes down to is there really is one thing going on and we're all some part of it. And when we can come to accept and expect that what we desire, if we have a desire within us, the possibility of fulfillment is right where we are. And the only thing blocking or stopping it is our own thinking. So the law of thinking is an unlimited force. Raymond Hollowell wrote, "Our power to think is inexhaustible, yet there is not one in 1,000 who may be fully aware of the possibilities of the thought power. The mind force is creating continually." Okay. And here's the thing, nature does not differentiate between the seed of a weed or that of a flower. So when we're having negative thinking, when we're worrying and fearful and doubting and, oh my gosh, what's next? What horrible thing's going to come and bite us in the butt next? What's happening? All of those thoughts are creative. Now, it doesn't matter if we speak them or if we just think them, they're powerful. So we want to take a look at what it is we're thinking about, where we're focusing our attention, and are we ready to begin to focus on that which we truly desire rather than that which we'd kind of like to get rid of. Okay, so it's really important that we begin to correct our thinking. Just like in our gardens, we would pull the weeds so that the flowers, the fruits, the vegetables, whatever we were growing had room and space and possibility. We take the weeds out so there's more oxygenation of the soil, there's more, I don't know, nutrients there for the good stuff. Well, the same thing with our thinking. So how do we do that? Well, one of the most powerful things, of course, is meditation. Taking time in meditation allows us to kind of notice what we're thinking about. Have you ever noticed you go into meditation and what does the mind do? Gets all gets all up there, it gets all wacky. It starts thinking of all sorts of things. It's moving this way and that way. And we want to still it, we want to quiet it. But if we could just be with it rather than trying to control and manipulate it, just simply in meditation, sit and be. And being means that I allow thoughts to come and go, and I have a focus. And the focus might be my breath. It might be some music I'm listening to. It might be a chant or a mantra. It might be a visualization exercise. That focus allows me to train my mind so that I'm not allowing it to just grow the weeds of negativity, fear, doubt, and worry, right? But I'm allowing to let those go easily, comfortably, peacefully. And I'm beginning to nourish and nurture that which feeds me. That which feeds me. Because the law of thinking is really exact, that whatever I allow to grow, that's going to be my experience. So we want to pay attention to our thoughts. A friend of mine years ago created these little stickers that he gave to everyone in his workshops. What was it? CYT, check your thoughts. And he'd give you handfuls of them and say, stick them up all over the place. Check your thoughts. What are you thinking about in this now moment? Notice if it's positive or negative, destructive, if it's, an energy of possibility. Is it moving you toward your greatest desire or vision for your life, or is it inhibiting your growth and expansion? The law of thinking is exact, it's powerful, and it's always at work. Okay, you can't get away from it. You can't get on the other side of it. You are thinking all the time. When you go to bed at night, what is the last thing you put into your mind before you nod off to sleep? I think gratitude lists are a great thing at the end of the day. Just what are you grateful for today? And did you do something you're proud of? It's okay to pat yourself on the back. That's a good thing. It's really important that we begin to see the beauty of our lives and the possibility that we have, so that we can experience more joy, more love, more laughter, that we can play more. I think we were designed to live, not to put in time. So I invite you just to, look at the law of thinking and notice where your thinking goes on a moment by moment, day by day basis. And not to punish yourself or get angry, like, oh no, I had a negative thought again, but just to notice it and go, oh, there you go, honey. Well, here's a reminder. Let's just cancel that out and let's create something beautiful instead. Well, the second law is the law of supply. And here's the thing, we are never satisfied, right? As long as we're here, as long as we are ready to really be in this life experience, we're always seeking something more. Have you noticed that? And sometimes it's stuff, right? We're seeking stuff. And I need a new house, I need a new car, I need new furniture, I need new clothes, I need new shoes, we don't need all that stuff. What we need is an understanding that the creative energy of the universe is something that is always going to be seeking greater and greater fulfillment. And so we're growing constantly. And the law of perpetual increase is about progress and it's about growth. And the secret of the law lies in our consciousness. See, our life consists not in the abundance of things, but in the consciousness of what we have. And so if we were to sit back and acknowledge how bountiful our life is, how full our life is, how beautiful it is, when we begin to see how magnificent each day is, the days when we can laugh and play and sing and dance and eat good food and make love and just be. I mean, how precious is that? The law of increase is I'm in life and I'm engaged in life. I'm not putting in time. I'm present. I'm present with what is, and I'm thinking along lines of now what? With excitement and delight, knowing there's always more. There's always more to enjoy. There's always more to play. We possess the whole world and all its wealth. And all that we can actually experience or enjoy is based on our own consciousness. What are we allowing ourselves to experience? What are we allowing ourselves to have, to be? Are we engaged in life or are we sleeping through it? We're always at choice. We're always at choice. So instead of tightening up in our thinking, we must relax and be more expansive, right? We want to open up instead of holding hard and fast to an idea that isn't actually working for us. Let it go. Just let it go. And take a breath and go, now what? Knowing that something beautiful, remarkable, fabulous is right here, present and available. And we don't have to wait for it to show up. We just know there's an expectancy that it's there and that all is well. Supply is greater than the demand, and the demand is determined by our own thinking. Whoa. So if in fact everything that we desire in life, all of the joy, the love, the peace, the health, the well-being, all of it is available to us, then the question we need to ask is, why am I not experiencing fulfillment, satisfaction in every area? And not to, again, not to go back and go, oh, I'm bad and wrong, because no. It's just an awareness that I create my life. I create my life and I create it according to law. See, we weren't taught this as little kids. We weren't taught that. We were taught math and science and proper English. We were taught to behave. We were taught to conform. We weren't taught that we are part of an abundant universe and whatever our hearts desire, we can create. At least most of us were not taught that. Some of us were taught that we're weak and limited and less than. And I'm here to tell you all that is BS. None of it's true. The reality is that we're all part of this infinite, creative, expansive universe. And there is always enough. There is always plenty. There's always more than enough than we can ever use. So what we want to do to use this law is to think along the lines of supply, to talk supply, to live supply, to, instead of talking about being broke or limited, or to sit back and go, no, I'm part of an infinite system, an infinite creative system, and everything I can imagine or dream about is available to me. And I'm going to begin to focus my thinking along those lines so that I might experience the infinite supply that's present. Now, we've all heard of the law of attraction. So there's two important aspects that underline this law, and one is desire and the other is expectation. And these mental attitudes are really an attractive force in the universe. See, the desire that we have suggests that the supply is already there, right? Whatever we desire, it already exists. And so what we need to do is expect to have it fulfilled in our lives, right? Law of attraction is exact. It can only bring to us that which we believe is possible. You know, what we believe to be true is true for us. Like it, lump it. You know, we're almost there. We all have dreams and desires. And are we creating it? Are we living it? Are we allowing it? Or are we holding back? Are we waiting for somebody else to do it for us, or somebody to give us something, or some magic in the universe that will all of a sudden make it all happen? But the reality is, within each and every one of us, there is an infinite power that says yes. And when we have a desire and expect it to be fulfilled, it is. It is. And it's fulfilled along our own timeline. See, there is no time or space in the universe, but there is in our own thinking, right? So we go back to the law of thinking. You see, they all work together. There's not just a whole bunch of different things, and if you get one, that one will solve everything. No, they're all connected, because truly there's only one power. And that power is infinite and creative and intelligent. And it's right here where I am. It's right there where you are. And there's nothing to inhibit it or to strike it down. There's nothing in it that says, no, I'm going to grant this to one person and not to another. That's not how it works. It is fully present, fully available through each and every single human being that exists. It's available through all life, not just humans, animals, plants. Everything flourishes when given the opportunity. And we all have that opportunity, but we must work with the law. It's like the law of gravity, right? I can break the law of gravity, but I might break my leg in the process. Doesn't mean I'm being punished. It just means I have gone against this natural law. And so it is with these spiritual laws. We must work with them. And so understanding what they are and how they work is really powerful, because it allows us to create in harmony with life rather than in opposition to our greatest desires and wishes. So expectation is a drawing force of the mind which acts in that invisible realm. It is that thing that says yes. And whether it takes a day or a week or a month, it's saying yes. And what's happening is we're getting instruction right along the way. So we've got a desire, we expect for it to occur, and then there's going to be something for us to do. This is where rubber meets the road, right? We've got to put our feet down and take a step. We have to move in the direction. And how will we know what the direction is? Well, there will be an idea in mind. Again, something will come up. So it's really, really important. In the book, Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell, he said, there's 3 things you can do to build up the realities and maybe even show you where you might be missing out or failing to see that which has, caused you to be sort of limited. And the first is interest, right? We pay special attention to objects or things that give us joy or pleasure, wisdom, satisfaction. And these are individual, and it's important to pay attention to what is our interest. The second is attention, right? We want to give attention to our interests. And the last is expectation. So when we have those 3 elements going, when we're paying attention to that which interests us, and we have an expectation of a desire being fulfilled, it is. It is. So if you're working for success or health or happiness, expect a lot. And you will enjoy as much as you are able to expect what you really believe is possible. for you. See, we have to have that energy of yes, 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 I can. I'm part of an infinite universe. When we really develop a firm belief in that, we start to move much more quickly toward that which we truly desire. The next law is the law of receiving. And there's this false idea that you must get before you can give, right? You got to get something before you can give something. And when we turn that around, when we realize that the reasoning really doesn't stand up, what we need to understand is giving is the first or fundamental law of life. And it is the first law of creation. So we have to give into life. And we give our energy and we give our hopes and dreams and we give our expectation. We give this idea of yes, we give into life. And as we give into life, then life flows back to us because giving and receiving are two sides of the same thing. Both are necessary. And as we give, we can receive. So the key to the law is we are continually drawing into our lives what we give and what we expect. Okay. So sometimes we desire one thing and we expect in our heart something else, which creates confusion, right? Like sometimes, we'll have a desire maybe for the love of our life, but there's a part of us that goes, yeah, but if I got that, it would inhibit this, it would change my life this way. I don't know if I'd really like that, right? There's a conflict. And when there's a conflict, there can't be a harmony of experience. Or maybe we want to increase our wealth, but that increases our responsibility. And maybe we don't want to be that responsible. So again, there is a contradiction that's happening there. And what we want to do is acknowledge that and then begin to look at the underlying cause. The first cause of everything, of course, is an idea in mind. It goes back to the law of thinking. So we want to check in with our thinking and go, what is it? Where am I focusing my attention? What is it I believe is possible for me? What values do I hold? And what areas am I fearful or doubting? See, it's okay to be fearful and doubting. We just have to acknowledge it and shift it. And we can do that. We have the power within us to change our mind. And when you change your thinking, you change your life, you change your world. So this idea of giving and receiving is really, really important. And what we give into life with a free and loving spirit, right? It could be our attention, it could be our time, it could be whatever gifts we possess. It could be material items, it could be money, whatever it is that we're giving freely in a place of love and gratitude. As we give, so shall we receive. We will receive in the same way in which we give into life. That's how the law of giving and receiving works. That this energy, so whatever you desire, is it health or success, happiness, power, start toward it. If it is health, then take a look at any area that might be blocked or stopped. What is it that you're thinking about ongoing? Are you fearful around your health? Are you doubting that it can get better? Is there some kind of limitation within you that says, oh, maybe not? You see, there's the desire for health and an expectation of receiving it. As we move forward, so we find ways of moving forward, the law works according to our own belief system. And so when we can give love and joy and peace into our lives, we begin to experience more of that. If we're giving doubt and fear and worry and we're expecting something different, it's not going to happen because the fear, doubt, and worry is taking up the space. We've got to give into life that which we choose to get out of it. And so we want to focus on health. And I remember a story, I think Karen Drucker shared it when she spoke here. And she talked about a woman with ALS who was wheelchair bound. And deteriorating rapidly. And she started to love different parts of her body. She would sit in front of the mirror in the nude and find something about her physical body that she could love. And she would focus on that love. And she did this every day. Every day. And over time, her body started to heal. Over time, her body began to change. And she healed an incurable disease. The ideas that I'm sharing are ideas that have been tried and they've been proven. But the proof is in the doing of it. And we forget, don't we? We forget. Like something comes up, like we have a pain in our body, we have an ache or a pain or an illness, and it grabs our attention. And it is in grabbing our attention that it controls our thinking. But I have the power over my thoughts, and you have the power over yours. And the key is to acknowledge that and recognize that and be determined that you are going to give to yourself this gift of just knowing that there is this infinite power, and it is right where you are, right where I am, and it works. The next law is the law of increase. And this is a principle kind of equivalent to the idea of the magic of Aladdin's lamp. Aladdin's lamp, you rub it and the genie comes out and grants you 3 wishes. And those wishes are immediately manifest. The genie says, as you wish, master, and ta-da, there it is. So the law of increase is that we do have a principle of an equivalent type of magic. And the understanding in us is that we stimulate our good and bring about much of our pleasure and happiness. And, we look at, maybe we call it magic or miracles, but the truth is, it is a law that is being manifest. It is the energy of life moving into form. It's allowing ourselves to live in that place of deeply understanding that there's always more, that increase is just a natural state of being. And so that whatever we desire is fulfilled and sped up in the moments that we really know that the universe is for us, that there is good, that there is no effort required to increase the influence of the universe. It's there. It says yes. It's just like Aladdin's lamp. He didn't have to do, any penance. He didn't have to do backflips. He didn't have to prove himself. He simply had to rub the lamp and the genie came out, and whatever he wished for, the genie goes, as you wish, master. The universe works for us this way as well. And so we sometimes forget because we think we have to be better in order to have an increase of health or an increase of wealth or an increase of love or an increase of joy or peace, whatever it is that we think we want increased in our lives. But the truth is, it's already there. And all we need to do is accept it, not by being, exerting a bunch of effort. It's not like a workout where, the more we bend and stretch and pump iron, the bigger and stronger we become. But it's more about a way of being, understanding that faith, that knowing that there's a power for good in the universe and that it's right here, that it's working through me, expanding through me, moment by moment. Knowing that is what makes all the difference. It makes all the difference because in that knowingness, we begin to be joyful. We begin to praise the good in our lives. We're grateful for the good in our lives. And that causes it to increase. That whatever we say thank you to, whatever we are enjoying and loving and praising and delighting in, that raises our vibration. And in raising that vibration, it creates all manner of harmony, beauty, love, and joy around us. And we begin to experience more and more and more of all this good, beautiful, wonderful stuff. Our bodies become healthier because we feel good, right? We begin to, dance and play and laugh and make love and do things that bring us joy and pleasure. And we're grateful for that. And that just is the fuel that builds and generates an active force that makes all of this happen with so much ease. We don't need to beg and plead and hope and wish. We need to accept and know and allow. It's time to be grateful for life, to look at all the little things in life that, have been good or wonderful, and to really acknowledge the beauty of the moment, to expand from where we are, to begin to shift again back to the law of thinking, change the life, right? We sometimes get so focused on the doubt, the worry, the fear, the upset, the resentments, that we forget that we are working with a law that responds to us by working through us. It's not separate then, it's right here. We don't need to go get it. We don't need to earn it. It is ours by divine appointment. Just because we draw a breath, there's nothing to earn. There's nothing to work hard for. I mean, I was taught as a young child, you got to work hard to earn a living. It's a theory. And it has worked for some of us. But the truth, there's no truth in it. And I know that because there's people out there who are born as millionaires or billionaires and don't have to do anything to get it. It's all just there. Why? And we might have a whole lot of reasons around that, but the truth is consciousness creates. Consciousness creates. And any one of us can change the way life looks, not by working harder, pushing harder, manipulating the universe. We can't do that. That doesn't work. What does work is allowing ourselves to go with that universal flow, to move in the energy of life and allow it to carry us. Begin to see that which we desire and expect comes to us, and that everything increases constantly through our loving attention. Right? That's how we create, by being joyful, by being thankful, by praising all of the good that's available for us right here, right now. It stimulates our faith and allows us to create in a way that's bigger and more beautiful than maybe we even thought was possible. And the way we work with this law is to know that good is everywhere. Everywhere. And be receptive to receiving it. The law of compensation. The law of compensation is our own comes to us, and only what is our own. So in the study of the laws of truth, we learn to apply them so that they will dissolve all adverse thoughts and conditions. That's what we're striving for. We want to dissolve adversity. We want to dissolve the thoughts and conditions that bring us strife and trouble. Trouble, that's a new word. Trouble. We can't change the law to suit our mistakes, but we can change our use of the law to its correct application. That was by Raymond Hollowell. So the purpose is to show us that we use the law to lift ourselves up and out of the place and into an idea where we truly want to be, what we truly desire. So we want to make sure that we are enjoying success, and it's something that we allow. So we have to be aligned with the idea of successful living. Okay, there's a right adjustment of our thoughts. And once we've changed our vision, we'll change our conditions. So one of the things that we teach is the idea of visualization. And when you visualize an outcome, I always like to add this or something better to it, because our vision tends to be a bit limited sometimes. But when we see in our mind's eye something, and we can continually bring that vision forth, and when we visualize it, put in sights and sounds and smells and people activity, and create it really full, kind of like a little movie going on in your own mind. What happens is, as we do that, we begin to activate this law and bring that thing into harmony with our current reality so that it begins to manifest. And the more energy we put into it, the more likely that it's going to come. By saying this or something better, what we're doing is we're allowing for a bigger idea, a greater possibility than what our current human perspective might think is possible for us. It's an important part of the process, but there's another one that's even better, and that's visioning. Visioning. Visioning is that opening up to that divine intuition. It's about opening up to that divine possibility, that infinite creative potential that is within us, that intuition that sparks something bigger than we could even imagine. See, in our own mind, we've decided what we're capable of and what we're not. And that came from the conditioning we received as children. Our parents, our siblings, our teachers, the media, we've received all of this information, and all of it's sitting within our consciousness, right? Deep in our subjective mind. And it is creating. Now, the challenge for most of us is we don't know what's down there. We don't know exactly what's going on in the subjective. So we are actively trying to, create a life, and we're going, now, why is it not happening? And there's something deep inside of us that may be saying no to it. So we want to correct that. We want to correct that idea. We want to recognize and remind ourselves over and over again that I am the right person in the right place, doing all the right stuff. I want to allow myself to know that the law is for me. And so the way I change my reality is to, adopt a new attitude, to check in constantly. Check in constantly and know that these inferior thoughts can be eradicated so that I can bring in something beautiful and desirable and sweet and wonderful. Now, when I'm doing visioning, what I'm doing is surrendering into this place inside of me where I'm allowing that highest aspect of myself to reveal something new, something beautiful, something bright, something magnificent. I'm getting my ego self out of the way momentarily, right? The ego is necessary, but let's put it in the back seat. And I'm allowing inspiration to come. Now, sometimes when we receive inspiration, we might get a little scared and go, yeah, not now, maybe later, right? Put it up on a shelf and push it to the back and not look at it for a while, because it's something maybe bigger, brighter, more expansive than we've ever tried before, something that we don't fully know or acknowledge that we can do it, but it's there. It's this vision. It's a vision. It's that deep desire that's popping up and coming forward and saying, hey, look at me. When that happens, and it does happen, if we can surrender into it, we'll begin to find our way forward. We'll find a way through. And the thing with this law of compensation is there is no competition. So it doesn't matter who's done it before or who's doing it at the same time. The inspiration that comes to us is for us alone. We tend to interfere with it rather than allow it. If we can just let it be and be in service to this new idea, this life-giving possibility, then something wonderful happens. If you're dissatisfied with anything, make a change. If you're excited and delighted about something, give it more energy. Allow your thinking to move everything forward in your life with ease and joy and love. Next is the law of non-resistance. Oh man, we do like to resist things, don't we? We resist change. We just resist forward motion. We resist, we resist, we resist. And the funny thing about resistance is whatever you resist persists. And what do we resist? We resist pain in our body. We resist pain in our relationships. We resist pain in our communication strategies. We resist. So the law of non-resistance requires us to kind of let go and to be non-resistant, to be in agreement with life, that what is. And that's a great statement, right? What is. What is. You can't change what is. However, dependent on how we're thinking in the moment, we begin to move forward and we're able to create something new. We allow what is to be without opposition, and then we can set a new intention. We can decide on something else. You know how water finds its own way? Water just moves, right? The boulders in front, it just zips around it. And it gathers strength. And it has the power to erode stone, to wash away buildings, to wipe out entire cities, right? Water is this great force, but it just follows the path of least resistance. We have within us the ability to do that very thing, to notice when something isn't working for us, and instead of being resistant to change or taking a new direction or opening to a new idea, it's up to us to turn, to go where there is no resistance, but allow life to simply flow. Allow it to be what it is. Why delay the benefits of life? Instead of looking at the blocks that are in front of us and stopping us, see them as stepping stones to something greater, something brilliant, something beautiful. When we stop resisting what is, we open ourselves up to the answers. Because whatever is going on in life, we have within us the answers. We have within us everything that we need in order to move forward, to create the life that we've been dreaming about. We have the ability to do that, and to do it with ease and with joy and with grace. And of course, the next thing is the law of forgiveness. Favorite, right? Everybody's favorite. Law of forgiveness. Well, here's the thing about forgiveness. Scientists believe that our body is moved by our mind, that our body is built by our mind. And when we hold resentment, when we hold anger and frustration, and we hold that in our body, when we hold pain from the past, what we're doing is we are harming the body. Somebody once said that resentment is like drinking poison, expecting somebody else to die. And that's exactly what it's like, because what we're doing is we're poisoning ourselves, because when we are holding on to a past hurt or pain, regardless of what it is, forgiveness is not about letting somebody off the hook or saying what they did was okay. It's not about that. It is about letting go of the harm that was caused and the person that caused it or the events that caused it, and allowing ourselves to move forward, knowing that that was then. But in this now moment, I choose love and I give myself love. Forgiveness is about loving ourselves enough to let go of the past so that we might live and create and move forward. It's about allowing life to happen. It's about being present, choosing a new reality. This journey that we're on is really exquisite. And what's fascinating is we've been given every possible tool to create a life that's beautiful, powerful, productive, positive, loving, healthy, abundant, prosperous. We've been given it all. And for some reason, through the training that we've received, we've bought into the idea that we are limited beings, that we don't have power, that the world around us is forcing us into a certain little box that we have to try and figure out how to be in. None of that's true. None of that is true. Whatever it is that you dream about, whatever it is that is your grandest desire, you have within you the ability to make it happen. And not by force or manipulation or, bargaining with some higher power. The power within you is of itself all that's necessary and needed. Desire with an expectation that, yes, I can. Setting an intention to move forward, to be in life, to celebrate and rejoice in all of the little successes and all of the challenges, to know that every challenge is just an opportunity to shift direction, shift focus, open up to a bigger idea. We're on a journey to be teachable, to open our minds and hearts and to live fully and completely with passion and purpose. I knew I wouldn't get through all the laws, but we got to start. We got to start on them. I invite you to explore these ideas, to bring them into your heart and mind, to accept that you've been created perfect, whole, and complete, powerful and mighty, and that all you have to do is see yourself in a new way, to live life with a sense of real purpose and passion, excitement and delight, knowing that there is a power for good in the universe, and it is being you. And so it is. Well, that's all I got to say about that. So this evening, I hope something said or done has helped you in some way or another, in that there is, some positive impact that you have as a result of the words that I've shared. And I'm just grateful that you joined us this evening. And if being here tonight has improved your state of mind or caused you to question or to believe in something bigger or brighter for yourself or for your world, if you're inspired to do more, be more, I just want to invite you to support this spiritual center financially, and also with the gifts of your time and talent. Really, it does take a village. And this spiritual center, like all these types of organizations, we depend on you to attend, to share your wealth, to share your time, to create something beautiful. So if something beautiful has happened for you tonight, please give generously. And of course, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can donate through e-transfer. You can visit our website, hit the give link. That's pretty easy. Or of course, you can mail us a check. We do still accept those. However you choose to give, we welcome it. We're grateful for it. And we use it with a consciousness of love and gratitude. So on that note, wow, this has been a busy night. Let us join together in consciousness as we close. Oh, and I just want to remind you, there are classes starting in January. If you want to learn these things in a deeper, more productive way, sign up for our newsletter. You'll know what's coming and be able to join us for those classes. All right, let us join together in consciousness as we close this evening. So as I take a breath, as I quiet my mind, what I accept and know is that there's one power in the universe. It's infinite, creative, intelligent. It is present at every point in space. It is all-knowing, all-powerful. So I know without a doubt, it's right here where I am. It's being me. It is the life that I live, the journey that I walk. It's all there is. And as I relax into that and accept that and acknowledge that, I begin right here and now to understand that the spiritual laws of the universe are exact, and that how I think and how I show up impacts the life that I live. So knowing that I'm powerful and creative, intelligent, and wise, beautiful, perfect, whole, and complete, I accept that this day is a gift and a blessing. And I honor it and I respect it, and I'm empowered by it. So with love and gratitude, peace and grace, I release these ideas into the law of mind where I know it is done. All is well. And so it is. And I want to remind you to stick around after. You can ask me questions. We can talk a little bit more about this. And to close off, we have the song, Thank You for the Music. Thank you.
I'm nothing special, in fact, I'm a bit of a bore. If I tell a joke, you've probably heard it before. But I have a talent, a wonderful thing, 'cause everyone listens when I start to sing. I'm so grateful and proud. All I want is to sing it out loud, so I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. Mother says I was a dancer before I could walk. She says I began to sing long before I could talk. And I've often wondered, how did it all start? Who found out that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can? Well, whoever it was, I'm a fan. So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. I've been so lucky. I am the girl with golden hair. I want to sing it out to everybody. What a joy, what a life, what a chance. Thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing.